Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's been too long, Frank.
Yes, it has.
How are you? How are you doing? How is everything?
Dealing with life, just like everybody else. How about you? You're going through big transitions over there.
Yeah, yesterday, Viv drove down to Florida, her new home in Florida, and she drove down there. She set up her, she signed her lease. She set up her,
Then she realized she wanted to come back home. She came back home.
no,
And she's in the other room right now.
no, it didn't happen.
Okay.
Sadly. She signed her lease. She set up all of the utilities in her name. She went to her new job. She met her boss. She did all of these things yesterday and still had the time to call and say, "Hey, you know what, Mom? I'm good. I'm doing okay. I'm safe. Everything's fine. We're all good." So we managed. Now I have to go right after the show today, get the truck, drive it back here. Will's going to drive it back here, load it up with all of her stuff that she couldn't fit in her car, which was like furniture and stuff like that. And then tomorrow, Will's driving the truck down. I'm driving my car down. We're going to get her moved in, go out and get her all the things she doesn't realize she needs, like everything.
Okay, so at least you're going to see her soon.
Yeah, I'll see her tomorrow. And then I'll
You
leave
know-
Tuesday and not see her again for probably 6-8 months. Maybe more.
Well, you know what? Listen. Florida to South Carolina is not South Carolina to Wyoming.
No.
B, if this was 1980 and all you had was the rotary phone, it'd be a lot harder.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So you can still and will see her every day, probably multiple times a day. And there are things that will become normal and it'll be okay and everybody will be fine. And then you know what? You still have retirement years to look forward to, and you still got Viv becoming a mom, and you get to follow her all over the country. Whenever you have grandchildren, it's over. She has no rights to privacy. You are going to be attached to her like a parasite, and then that's it. And then you have your second life with Viv, and that's going to be great.
It is all going to be great. I mourned for like a week. I know that the mourning will come back. I think I'm through the first stage of mourning. I've cried.
I mourned knowing you were mourning.
I cried more in this week than I have cried in years. And I kept saying to myself, she's still here. Like, stop acting as though you're never going to see her again.
Right.
I had to keep on reminding myself, like, stop it. Like, just, it's okay. It's so, I can't explain in words how it is to be more excited for someone than you would ever been for yourself in your entire life. More, proud of someone than you've ever been of anyone in your entire life. And at the same time as those joyful emotions are coming through you, you are also more sad than you've ever been about most things in your entire life. Like, it's the weirdest three-pronged set of emotions.
Well, that used to, at least two of those prongs used to be the thing that being an American especially was really driven by. It's just that each generation had the success of their progeny, their children, the next generation outdoing them.
Yep.
As a priority, as a point of pride, that I get to put the next cog in the wheel, the next cog in the machine there, and pass the torch to somebody else who's going to do better than me. I mean, that was, and of course, that is an intrinsically human thing that comes to life in a culture that actually prioritizes individual liberty. So that's why it was such an exceptional thing, because individual liberty is so pro-human, and to be pro-human is to be pro-family, and to want to see people we love succeed, and to be remembered by what generations after us are able to do, because nobody is mutually exclusive. Nobody's their own island out there. We all have our individual achievements, like Viv is going to have and has right now. But other than that, you can't remove Tracy and Will from the prologue, So that it's just like we're building a story, and it's great.
It is.
So
It is.
Yeah, that's
Every,
go ahead.
all the people out there that like have been giving little advice, all of them have said like this is literally what your job was and you did it. Like
Yeah.
you did it. You did your job. You did exactly what you were supposed to do so that she could do what she's doing. She's 19. She's not in college. Like she's starting her career at 19, which is just beautiful. She's got a wonderful boyfriend. She's living on her own. She's living on her own. She's not moving in with her boyfriend or anything like that. She has rented this apartment on her own with her own savings. She's bought her car with her own money. Like she's good. I'm not. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm so worried." I'm not. I'm not worried about her. I'm not worried about her. I'm not worried about what she'll do or what she won't do or if she'll be okay. I'm not. I know she's going to be okay. That's not what this is.
Yeah.
Which is different than I think a lot of people. She's going to be stellar. I just you'll see when Aurora gets to be 18, 19 and is like, "All right, I'm going to leave now." You'll see exactly what I mean. And you'll remember this advice you gave me 12, 13 years prior. Or not.
She's already 18. She's already leaving the house. She's already leaving that. And you know the other thing too? I don't know what that. She's a little shit, I'll tell you.
Oh, it's getting there, huh?
Because she's already teasing me with this boy.
Oh.
Not a real one, of course. She told me that she has a boyfriend now. I said, "Oh yeah? What's his name?" She says his name is Jimmy Collis. Jimmy Collis. And when I say that I'm calling him up and want to find out where he lives, she gets really mad. "No, he's my husband." So I wasn't invited to the wedding. Who's Jimmy Collis? You got married to this Jimmy? Who is he? And she loves the rise that she gets out of me. So I'm already contending with this fictional Jimmy Collis character. And she's 4 years old. I was like, "Please, God, please."
Just wait. I know that. And, I still have William at home, Frank.
Yeah.
I still have William. He's 16. I mean, he's in his own right. Gosh, I'm happy for my kids. I'm happy they're thriving. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's
They're functional.
Yes.
They're functional.
Yeah.
And when you're coming up and we're trying to, still all of us, we're all making our way in the world. Doesn't matter how old we are. In fact, it gets harder when he gets older. I mean, you think about how hard it is to retire in this country. Not even just from a standpoint of how you're going to support yourself financially, but who's going to take care of you. Families don't take care of their elderly family members anymore. Usually, I hate to say it, for a lot of Americans, the last years of their lives is them getting fucking abused by nurses.
I know.
That's so we're all, the journey never ends, and you never know when you're going to take a twist or take a turn here. But the whole point is being functional, and they're functional. And when you compare it to the rest of society right now, how increasingly dysfunctional it all is. Yeah, there's a lot you can hang your hat on, and that's what we all have to remind ourselves about. How functional are you compared to the people who think that they're cats and dogs and peeing and it's
so true.
Good.
It's so true. So, Frank, I don't know how long it'll take, but I figured what we would do today, it won't take the full rest of the time, that's for sure. But this Epstein thing, I wanted to do a timeline and a rollout of what the hell has happened here and just talk through it because it is all I'm seeing anywhere. Some people may not realize what happened and want like a timeline, a rollout of it. What do you think?
I didn't expect anything too crazy. If anything interesting at all with this, but I heard that it was going to be in phases. I did not expect the influencer parade at the White House, which I don't have anything against any of these people personally, but this is not me feeling professionally
jealous,
jilted, because I'm not a journalist. I don't care about.
Well, they aren't either, but
I don't care about talking about stories when they're a week old. I don't care about that stuff. But this was supposed to be a public disclosure thing, and the public, save for like 10 people, is like twiddling our thumbs until 7 p.m. And then we see, of course, there's nothing really in there. But the Pam Bondi letter was the most interesting thing about the whole. I mean, it's 10:39 a.m. 8 a.m. today was when SDNY was supposed to cough up whatever they had. I don't know. I haven't heard anything on that. And I don't know, there's other things that came up for me along the way, but I didn't expect too much on day one, especially when I heard it was going to be in phases. And I'm sure more whatever you say is going to trigger me into some other thoughts.
Well, we'll go through the whole thing. So this was, for me, the whole thing started with the task force, okay? Now, the Luna task force was handled absolutely piss poorly. The whole rollout of it, what was its purpose, how would it work, whatever. Finally, after weeks, we got narrowed down to the task force is going to investigate things as they're declassified by the administration. You guys will all have them at the same time. It's not going to be we release it. It's going to be they go out and then we do an investigation. I still think it's useless and stupid for them to travel down to Texas to interview people from the Warren Commission 70 years ago, 60 years ago, whatever. But okay, fine. That started it for me. Then, like a week ago, Luna came out cursing at Bondi about how she was going to release the Epstein files and why hasn't she done it yet and all of this. And that was a very public spat between Luna and Bondi. Bondi didn't respond. And then not last night, which was Thursday, but Wednesday night, we started getting this.
A lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
Yeah. What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Oops. Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah. What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay.
So right from this standpoint, what game? This is the question I'm asking for those of us who have been around in 2020 to read this stuff the first time it came out. For her to be talking about this as if it's largely new, and then yesterday we got the refried beans that came out, and then followed by her indignant letter about where's the rest of it, as if if it was if she knew where the stuff we haven't seen was. So my question is, what is she setting up in this media appearance? Is this all part of a choreographed timeline for? I just don't understand why phase one wasn't going to war with SDNY.
I agreed. That's why I'm setting everything up this way, right? The next thing we got yesterday was Piers Morgan. Epstein release imminent. White House counselor Alina Habba. It's incredible. It was just incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, information, and names that will come out. Now, we know all this already, but okay. We have to assume they know we know all this already, truthfully. But then I said, this is before all the shenanigans happen. I said, I'm going to reserve most of my judgment. But we've had flight logs for years. Don't get your hopes high, folks. Serious information doesn't need a pre-release hype press tour, which is what this was. But we're going to listen to the clip anyway. Anyway.
Jeffrey Epstein files, we're told, are to be imminently unleashed. And already we saw the Attorney General Pam Bondi say that it's the scale of what happened is far worse than anyone realized. Well over 200, maybe 250 victims, and that we're going to get information either later today or tomorrow from these files. What can you tell me about that?
I believe it will be today. I was just with, I saw Pam and Cash in the White House just before coming on your show. And I can tell you that I haven't been privy to it yet, but I know it is coming out. They will be taking portions of it. We have to be patient. And I said this last night at a dinner with some media. And I said, I think America needs to remember one thing. We are going to be promises made, promises kept. But when you're dealing with victims, and by the way, this is a perfect example of a case that was vetted, that went through trial, that had testimony, and was prosecuted the right way. I don't preemptively attack. That's just not the way I operate. But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that they're.
So you get the picture.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I know that, and this is why, for people like us and everybody in our audiences and our friends and people, whoever took, even people who are true crime fans, who took interest in this stuff, you're thinking, okay, we're going to get something much bigger than what was publicly available 4 years ago. So that's why it was a little bit of a Now, if it weren't for the shenanigans in the press yesterday, or the new media, or the anointed aspects of new media, then I think this would be a little bit easier to swallow. Okay, well, they said it's phase one, and phase one was stuff we already saw. Okay, great. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's move on to phase two. Even though the hype for phase one did not match what you would provide. So there's a lot of weird things going on here, but yeah.
So then we get this. We get these pictures start rolling out. Today I met with President Trump, J.D. Vance, AG Pam Bondi, and FBI Director Kash Patel in the Oval Office. They handed me a binder copy of the Epstein files. This is the most transparent administration in American history. The best part, this is just the start. Bondi confirmed there are thousands more documents being secretly held in the SDNY, and they will be delivered to the DOJ in D.C. by February 28th. And then we get, we get these selfies. We get selfies with the same language.
Yeah.
This is what we're getting with the letter that Bondi wrote to Patel, and
I saw y'all.
We get all of this showmanship by people, truthfully, about sex crimes against children.
Well, that was more so cringe and hypocritical, because this is the same reason why we can't stand JoJo from Jers and
Harry Sisson.
Yeah, all those people. What was really stomach churning was the Rickroll from the House Judiciary.
Oh God, I'm getting there.
What the heck?
I'm getting there. Some people might not know how this all happened in time, so that's why I'm doing it. So these posts all come out of these people smiling. And listen, I'm not making any judgments of the people themselves. I don't care about that stuff. It's just like they come out with this big exclusive. Everybody's saying I have this big exclusive on the Jeffrey Epstein files, exclusive only here. This is not what we signed up for. Like, the American people at this point are not stupid and can handle reading documents. And that's what we were told. And then we're like, all right, well, great. Where's our copy? And why are you doing this? This is very weird, right? And then the backlash started to come in underneath all these photos. Whereas normally people are like, oh my gosh, good stuff. Let's see it, blah, blah, blah. People were like, what the hell?
Yeah, these are generally well-liked people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm this is why this, I feel like phase one was completely bungled, because if this was in any way, shape or form supposed to get people hyped up and attention drawn, a lot of people became withdrawn after this.
People didn't like this at all. And I didn't like it either. And it's not because I'm jealous that I wasn't there. That's ridiculous. I don't give a... I know. I wouldn't have gone anyway, truthfully. Like, I'm upset about this because we do not need gatekeepers who are anointed by an administration. Transparency would be putting this out there for everybody at the same exact time, not giving binders to special people that you've brought to the White House to receive them. That's not what we all signed up for. Sorry. Even if I was not an investigative journalist, I would be saying the same thing, right? I would be saying the same thing. But then once that started happening, we started getting these. We started getting this. Hold on, wait. I have to adjust my sound here. Okay, here.
I saw y'all on the internet coming for Kash Patel saying he's day 5 and we haven't gotten the Epstein files. Well, I'm here outside the West Wing, and look at what we got today. the Epstein files, baby. Let's make America safe again. I saw y'all on the internet.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, whoever you are. I don't even know who you are. Like, I've never seen you before. I don't know who you are. I don't know how to trust Emily Austin. I don't know her. Okay,
Yeah.
you got a binder of the Epstein files. Fantastic. Then we get.
Did you read it yet?
And that's the worst thing.
There's no way you can even know what's inside of it at that point. It could have been a diner menu, and it essentially was.
It was a diner menu. It was a diner menu. And so now we've got these clips of them. The press is all out there, and they're all happy, showing off their binders. Look at these binders. We've got the binders. Look at us, how special we are. We have the binders. It's the Epstein Files Phase 1. Yay. Okay, great. Fantastic. You got your little PR moment. Now, backlash starts coming in. And we start getting this. We start getting posts, Frank, from these people that say the same exact thing. Today I met with President Trump. It's all the same words. Everybody's saying the same thing. So this is why I have a hard time with the story we're being told, which is about to roll out next. They're saying the same thing with the same words. They're not even changing it up. It's propaganda. Sorry.
It's an organized effort. I saw DC Drano, when because these people were saying, what the hell is it? I saw the side by sides. Why are you guys doing this? And I saw I think DC Drano said, I spoke completely on my own. It's okay. All right. So then you're saying the other people were copying you, because we are talking about verbatim. If we turned in these tweets as homework assignments,
one of us, yes.
One of us is going to get detention.
Then we got an excuse about it. I copied and pasted DC Drano's statement with the intention of it being used as a quote. I don't know what that means, but he posted it first.
Forgot the quote.
Yeah, and he posted it first. He has a community note. He posted it first. How could he have copied and pasted something he posted first? Okay, so now their narrative starts falling apart here. Now, the next thing that happens, as this is all unrolling in real time for everybody on the news platform to see, is the House Judiciary GOP official account on X posts a tweet that says, breaking, Epstein files released, with a tiny URL to Epstein Files version 2. And when you click on that link, it brings you to the Rick Astley video, and you're rickrolled.
Yeah. Which is just absolutely abhorrent. And for the principle of the thing, which many people were very quick to point out there too, in any way, shape, or form, where we're talking about a human meat grinder that involved the transactional nature in which children were used to form international policy.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Yes.
We're talking about the mortar, the ghoulish mortar with which the world power structure has been held together for generations at this point. And the House Judiciary Committee treated this as if it was some kind of a Christmas Story Ovaltine commercial prank. I mean, are you kidding me?
There are victims still alive involved in this who are seeing this be turned into a mockery, right?
Whoever did it, I would love to know if they lost their job, if did they vote on doing this? It's
disgusting.
I hate
this
Republicans.
Entire thing has been disgusting, from the smiling exclusive I'm the best tweets. I'm sorry, that's what they were. Someone's like, oh, I get they were excited they got the scoop. I said this. You do not do this with a scoop, okay? Somebody gives you a tip or information of this serious of a nature. You investigate it, you read it, you look at it, and then you make your post or your article or whatever. After you've done that due diligence, you say, this is the most terrible thing I've ever had to report. But look at this. You don't go around taking smiling car selfies. Look at me, I have this binder. Like, it was so gross to me. It disgusted me, and it got worse. It got worse because then they all got together and came up with some kind of, I don't know if all of them said the same thing. So either it's true, and this is what really happened, or they all said, we need to fix this. We're getting lambasted right now. And there's nothing we can do about it. So the first video I saw was Savannah Hernandez, who I actually really like. She wasn't in any of the smiling picture things, but this is what she said. Hold on. And I don't have anything against these people personally, so that's not what this is all about.
No,
Here.
no. Because listen, for example, somebody had said, I don't know, about curating or gatekeeping or whatever, and like, I don't think that any of these people have any editorial power or anything like that. They were invited. The plan for rolling this out was just so bad.
They should have, if they would have released it publicly at the same time as these people got their binders, then nobody would be bitching.
Nobody would care. But also if there was something new, there's just, for everything that was hyped up in the days leading up to this, there's no way in hell that they did not know
we're gonna get
that
there
we
too.
were not getting something new yesterday.
Yeah.
Even if the plan was to give us something new down the line. That's why I'm saying cut all this crap out that only creates people just got a general feeling of agita right now over what happened yesterday. Day one should have been Pam Bondi is going to war with SDNY.
And just tell us the truth.
Here, everybody, I want you to review what we have out there from 2020. Keep this in mind. We're going to be building on this because there are thousands of documents that we are getting stonewalled from by rogue FBI agents in New York that we are going to war with right now.
And Cash just took over like 5 days, not even 5 days ago. Nobody expects that Cash Patel has already cleaned up the FBI. Like nobody.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And Bondi, I just think what happened was this was on her desk. She had a lot of other things going on. She couldn't focus on it and then was like, shit, I really need to get on this. People are begging me for it. Or she didn't care about it. But this is the next line of talking points we got here.
Hey guys, this is Savannah Hernandez in front of the White House with, yes, one of those Epstein file binders. Now, I want to clear something up immediately and state that nobody from the Trump admin gave us these binders and said, you guys are going to be the ones responsible for disseminating this information. They actually told us that there's going to be a press conference at any moment now, most likely this afternoon, in which all of the information in this binder is made available to the American public. Now, Pam this morning stated to us that some of the information in here is already public, and she doesn't really feel that any of this information is a smoking gun. The big story here is Pam writing a letter to Cash Patel asking him to investigate why the FBI has stopped the release of other portions of the Epstein files. So that is what is currently going on, and I wanted to come out as a journalist as well and state that, again, we are not responsible for deciding what does or does not come out. All of the information in this binder will be made public. Pam Bondi herself stated that she wants all of the Epstein.
I know.
The whole point is the binder should not exist. It's not phase 1. It's phase 0.
Yes.
That's the whole point here.
Yes.
Phase
They
1
don't know
is,
because they never did the due diligence to know what story they were being given in a binder in the first place. Nobody knows unless you've read them, Frank. You don't know. Like they started throwing around an FBI vault link saying, here they are. I'm like, no, that's been out for years. I read all of this already. This has already been out.
And I've got quite a few friends. I've spoken with them already that are still very optimistic about where this is all going. And I have no reason not to be curious or cautiously optimistic about what may come out next. But the whole point is that this was not necessary.
They used these people and these people just went along with it and were like, oh, clout. This is the problem. They either used these people and these people were too silly to realize it. They assumed because these people have a lot of followers that everybody that was their follower would just be like, okay. And it wasn't the administration telling them that this debacle had happened at the last second. It was the influencers telling them. So the influencers have more sway over the public. So let's use them to trot out our bullshit. This is just truth. I'm sorry. Like, it sucks, but it's true. So then we got more. We got more. Started getting posts. And then the narrative started coming out like, look, if you're mad about this, it's because you weren't invited and you're jealous.
I had one or two silly people suggest that too. I said, come on, man. Are you serious?
I couldn't.
Jealousy? You think I want to be in Washington, D.C. For any? No.
I wouldn't have gone even if they said, hey, come here. We're having this big thing with I wouldn't have gone. I would not have gone. So I'm not jealous of anybody. This is ridiculous. So Liz Wheeler says, in a very condescending way, truthfully, let me make this very clear. The binders were not given to us at the White House under any pretense that they contain damning Epstein information. Yes, except you were on television in the White House last night telling everybody how damning the information that you were about to release was. Like,
So that's the whole point here. People are talking, whether it was the Pierce Morgan thing or Pam Bondi with Jesse Waters or everything else. People are talking from a position that tells the world, you have never seen this before. This is horrific. And we're going to break the internet tomorrow. So you're coming from a place of hyped knowledge. And then the next day we get, so then you never knew?
Well, that's the worst part, because before I read the rest of this, that's the worst part, because she had this information. She said, she was like, this isn't all of it. And they told her, yes, it is. And she had to have known. If we know, she knew. Okay? If we know, she knew. And then all of a sudden, at the very last second, she trots these binders out to these certain people with a letter in it saying, oh, I just found out yesterday there's more stuff. Bullshit. Sell me a freaking bridge in the middle of Arizona. Give me a break. Do you really think we're that stupid? So it goes on.
Arizona has no bridges?
Well, not over, I don't know. Maybe they do.
You probably just screwed yourself right there.
Unlike most people, if I make a mistake, I'll correct it.
I'm going to go search
Go
right now.
find a bridge in Arizona for me. I would make my day, probably. Where is there a place in the country that doesn't have bridges? Is there anywhere?
If Arizona is without bridges, then that is... Didn't Isaac Cappy get pushed off a bridge in Arizona?
How fitting.
Jeez. Yeah, there's plenty. I'm looking at
Sell me a bridge in the desert over a body of water. There, I made it better.
All over. Well,
over a body of water in the desert. Sell me a bridge. You know what I'm saying, you fuckface.
Navajo Bridge is the name of a twin steel spandrel that goes across Colorado River. I actually might have just found you a bridge in the desert. I might have just found you a bridge in the desert in Arizona that goes over water. So I don't know what to tell you.
You know what I'm saying, you ass.
Right.
Let me finish reading this very serious message. Okay. A.G. Bondi was pissed because the deep state swamp creatures lied to her. Oh, the poor victim. They lied to her, Frank. She's a victim now. She's a victim of the deep state swamp creatures.
No. That's, and I don't even care. But it was a poorly managed day yesterday. Who knows what the plan was? I don't think that you need, if this was some form of kabuki theater to set up the indignant letter. People thought that this was a good way to grab attention. I just don't think it panned out the way somebody planned it.
They think you're stupid. Because they think you are a dumb cult follower. That's why. They think they can use, and maybe all these influencers, quote, were used and abused in this manner.
Well, and even to the point where you can say, well, somebody was tricked. Well, then that means that when you told us you knew, you actually never read it and you were trusting somebody to tell you the truth that you should have known from firsthand experience.
Yeah.
So nothing pans out, and
the pictures and the selfies and they were so excited about it until they realized people were not. And then all of a sudden out come the clean up in aisle influencer stories to fix it.
Yeah.
So she finishes, why aren't you pissed that hold on. A.G. Bondi was pissed because the deep state swamp creatures lied to her and gave her the files in the binder, pretending the contents, yes, a nothing burger, were the complete Epstein documents. Why aren't you pissed that the SDNY defied President Trump and Bondi and attempted to subvert your votes? Why aren't you outraged that the FBI swamp traders tried to hide evidence of what we know?
We are. We are. We've known about the SDNY since 2016.
They're trying to deflect us and say, how dare you come for us? We didn't do anything. You should be mad at these people.
Well, listen, I like I said before, I have no personal anger with the people who showed up and were given an invite to go to the White House. I mean, until we find out that they were part of this in some more intimate way. But I don't even really care about that. When you're talking about Pam Bondi in particular, she said it was on her desk.
Yes, she's been saying it was on her desk for like weeks, a week.
So she didn't know it was incomplete last week. That's what I'm saying. Phase 1 should have been the war with SDNY. That would be enthralling. That would have grabbed our attention, with rapt attention. Yes.
But everything's like a show with her. Everything's like some show, and like I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the right.
Listen, I'm okay with showmanship. If you are out there and you are in this position and you know that you not only have to get a job done, but you have to get the public involved in some way.
But it's transparently showy, Frank. It's fake. It's fake and gay showy.
That's what I'm saying. It was a downgrade compared to what is actually there that you can go and turn into a
compare it to Doge. Compare it to Doge and how Doge is handling things. There's your difference.
Strange.
There's your difference right there. Every day we get something else out of Doge, and it's like, holy shit. Because it's just transparent and out there, and that's it. It's out there. It's freely out there. People can do what they like. You can't do this anymore. This was a big F up by Bondi, and I'm sorry, but I'm grossed out at the whole influencer thing. You guys have your own brains. I feel like this was a way to try and use these people that they think hold the power over the general population to get a narrative out there, and it blew up in their face because thankfully, finally I'm starting to see that most people are not going to fall for that crap. They're not. And I
love to see, because you don't see it with the left. You don't see it at all. Like you said, a lot of people are not falling for that crap. It was immediate sour taste in their mouth, and more in particular, the ire that was directed toward the GOP in particular. Oh, I love that there is no real, that every day we see more and more evidence that there is no loyalty to that party.
Nope.
And I love that, because I can't stand the Republican Party.
It was really awesome to see people just be like even with the task force that Luna was trying to roll out, people were like, we don't care. Like, this is stupid. Stop wasting money and time and everything else. Like, we are in a time now where people are at the end of their FAFO rope. They're done. The appointments so far, save one or two here and there, have been amazing. I have been wildly happy about everything that's happened. I haven't had one real complaint about anything so far at all. I've been so excited about everything. This was an absolute slap in the face, thinking that you can wield, quote, e-celebrities over the people in your sick little game to cover your own ass. And the people will just fall in line. And that's exactly what this was. So poor people, I guess, that were at the White House thinking they got some big, exclusive to show their followers, not realizing, first of all, and then Mario Narfal or whatever his name is, puts up this tweet yesterday. Hold on. I'm going to find it because I tagged Technofog. Here, he says, breaking Epstein FBI informant confirmed. Breaking. Newly released Epstein files reveal that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just connected to intelligence. He was an FBI informant. So I said, hey, Technofog, did you know that what you reported years ago is breaking right now?
Yeah. I know. Which is why the re-release of everything does have a strategic place. I see a valuable strategic place
to get new eyes
in what could be a very, very big breaking development that would shake the damn world, because this is not about one guy. All right. This is not and that's why I have always been dubious about how far up the ladder, how hard they're going to pull the thread on this one, because most places, whether they are left leaning, right leaning, whatever the illusion of their leanings are, most places continue to frame this up as a story that centers around the insatiable, abusive sexual appetites of one man, and not the fact that he was serving a much higher power, a power that that's able to make the FBI stand down when they're already years into a cross country investigation. I mean, so who knows? Who knows? But like I said, there was a place. I believe there is an appropriate place in reintroducing stuff that's already out there to build a foundation to get new people involved in what is going to be a breaking story, so they have the background 100%, because it's been going on forever and there's large gaps of nothingness in between developments. So but don't call this phase 1 and don't encapsulate it inside of this really, really poorly bungled media fiasco.
It was gross. It was just gross. It takes my confidence, and honestly, the only person that I trust with any of this at this point is Cash.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
I know Cash. This isn't going to fly. And I don't trust Bondi at all. Zero amount of any hope or I have zero in her. And it's been relatively quiet out of it. I mean, she should have been up front and center explaining all of this. So sorry, guys. This is a big mess. We're sorry. Like, clearly it's a big mess. So, and then, Cernovich was there, and that was like one of the only people that were there that I was actually like, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense because of all the work he's done on this. He's done a lot of work on this story. As a matter of fact, I have a clip that Adam sent over from here.
Epstein.
I was behind on the times today, Frank. Sorry. Here it is.
What happened to all the evidence?
Epstein gets arrested. They charged him for paying
I'll get this
apartment.
right.
That's
Okay.
all they charged him for. So why did they only charge him for that? There's a reason. He had a place in New Mexico. He had his island. He had his place in Paris. He had another place, I think, in West Palm Beach. And if they had charged him for trafficking, the FBI would have had to simultaneously raid every property under a Mann Act. Instead, they arrested him. They searched the New York property. What was happening in the island? We don't know. What happened to the island? We don't know, because the FBI said, well, we can't search it. So they left all these properties unattended, and then that's when the mop-up operation commenced, and they got whatever compromising CDs and DVRs and other information. And so Epstein gets charged with the lowest possible conduct that he ever could have been charged with. All their properties were left unattended, so mop-up teams went in there, took whatever they needed to take out there, and then Epstein commits suicide. It's the end of the story. What's to talk about? All gone now. It's like the ending of The Usual Suspects. It's like he never existed.
Epstein.
And just so everyone knows, whoever's listening to this, we've seen video. In the case, they released a whole bunch of evidence that was unsealed in the Maxwell case. There is video of cops going through the mansion.
I remember that.
Yeah. So when you start seeing video come out, no, it's been out already.
I remember that. I mean, that was at the time that we started getting tours. I mean, that's when we heard about we learned about the Bill Clinton blue dress picture video, painting, the George W. Bush 9/11 painting, the fact that he had a dentist cleaning chair in his place. I mean, we were learning about a lot of stuff. We heard about the removal of God knows how many tapes and CDs and all that. And you have to imagine, I don't know, all these years in unfriendly hands, people who were obviously, we don't know who they were and what role they played individually, but we know the organization, the FBI as an organization, was very, very involved in keeping this. I don't. It's I as a default, I just don't have a lot of faith that some of the worst stuff was ever preserved, if it was ever obtained in the first place, and if it was, where to go off to.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Jeffrey Epstein had his own insurance files. I'm sure that doing the work that you do for the people that you work for, that along the way you're keeping stuff that you think might be able to help you in a spot, a little bit of leverage along the way. But as far as who had access to the cameras that were rigged throughout one location or another, who had access to the servers, and who that was kicking up to. It's short-sighted, I believe, to even think that he was the arbiter of all that.
It's true.
Or even Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yep.
The people who really had control of all those cameras were probably not even on the island.
No, and we're probably still don't even know who they are. And if we heard their names, we probably wouldn't know who they are anyway. These are the power brokers pulling the strings from way above levels that we even have ever heard of. Above the Rockefeller level, truthfully. Above the Rothschild level. Above that. Like, that's how deep this thing goes, in my opinion. And I'll just say this. If this is the way document rollouts and transparency from this administration is going to be why wouldn't they start with MLK and JFK?
Oh yeah, that's already. Well, it has been 14 days since Tulsi Gabbard has been installed as DNI now.
I don't know.
Either way, it was like within 14 days that they had DNI in place that had to be out there.
It shouldn't be that hard to just. The people are long. It shouldn't be that hard to just dump this stuff out if you're really honestly being transparent.
Just
dump it out. And then the UAP stuff, which is a whole nother ball game of all kinds of bullshit that everybody's. Like we said, I really believe this. Disclosure is going to have to be individual. That's the only way. Like, nobody believes anything anybody says, and truthfully will continue to not believe anything anybody says from a position of our institutions because they don't know how to handle people who are tired of the crap. We're tired of the crap. We're done. We're not accepting it anymore, and they don't know how to handle us. They thought their influencers would handle us. They didn't. So that's that. I don't got anything else. This is all I planned on talking about with you today, my kind sir.
Yeah. What else? What else really is there?
Nothing.
I mean, that's the big story of the week, and it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
So now I got to go do all the things, and
So you're driving down to Florida this weekend?
Tomorrow.
That's it. And you're gonna stay. When are you gonna come back? Sunday night?
Tuesday.
Oh, good.
I want to take her to the DMV on Monday and help her with the changing of the registration and
happy.
Yeah.
Happy. You know what's great? I found a friend whose business it is to go to the DMV for you. Oh my God. And it is the greatest thing.
So wait, if your registration needs work of some kind, you don't have to go yourself?
Yeah. Recently I had a couple of things going on with some cars of mine recently. And I doing some switcheroos here with insurance, switcheroos with registration, with all that, title transfers, whatever. And I was my buddy at this garage that I have, my good friend who owns a garage. I bring all my cars to him for work over the years. And he said to me, "Hey, I have this really nice guy you got to meet. His name is Daniel, and he does all the DMV work, so you don't have to." So I loaded him up. I met this guy. He's wonderful. I give him $100 for his trouble, and did the registration, did the bill of sale, and pay. I give him a little bit of a form with my debit card information, so he can do any kind of taxes that have to be paid, fees have to be paid. Does everything for you, and you can send people to the DMV.
That's a genius idea.
By proxy. It's worked out flawlessly. I can't tell you how many hours I probably saved myself over the last 4 to 6 weeks just because of not having to go there.
It's genius.
Now, I'm pretty sure that if I ever had to update
your license and
yeah, well, not even that. I think that you can submit a picture now, and you don't actually have to go there and have your picture taken.
They give don't they give you an eye test when you renew your license?
Yeah, somewhere along the line they do. And also your passport. You can go to the DMV and the post office to get your passport done, right?
Yes. The passport picture. I'm
definitely expired on that. My passport.
I don't have one either.
I I got my passport done in early the early months of 2014 because I was going to go to the Dominican Republic with Lauren for around my birthday to her father's place in 2014. That's 11 years ago now, and I think those are only 10 years, right?
Yeah, mine
So
was mine was 2000
My passport is expired. I only used it once.
or 1999 actually.
I don't go anywhere, man.
I don't go anywhere either.
I would love, you know what I'd love to do? It's too bad that all these planes are going down now.
I know, I don't want to get on a plane.
Because before they were crashing, my whole point was I'm not wearing a mask for 7 hours. I'm not getting injected with anything to get onto a plane. And now that kind of has gone by the wayside, now we got planes that are landing upside down. we got planes that are spinning around like
helicopters hitting them.
Just ridiculous. But I would just really love to take some time, and I guess this is just going to have to materialize in the form of extended road trips. I want to take the show on the road in some way where Lauren, me, and Aurora are seeing parts of the country or Europe, the countryside, whatever the hell else, filming things, doing cultural hits, stuff like that. I'd love to do that more. And I mean, there's plenty of subject matter here in the United States, but when you talk about Europe, ancient in an American sense is nothing compared to Europe, where every pub there is older than America.
Yep.
And that's just so interesting to me. And I really hope I get to experience that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think about it all the time too. Rome, Greece, all those places.
Just have one night in some kind of a room that overlooks the Mediterranean or over some kind of a Grecian grotto.
Mm-hmm.
I know, just one night in a place like that, just to say I woke up and the linen is fluttering in the breeze.
Window.
In the window. The linen is just fluttering. Maybe I'm just watching too much Instagram.
I know. I see those reels of Italy, like, here's Italy, and I'm like, oh my God.
Lauren, look.
We could be laying there in that bed with the windows. Yeah. The windows take up the whole back wall, and they're open, and you're up high, and the white curtains are just flapping in the.
And the next frame is that in front of the open balcony, there is a breakfast platter that has, some kind of a really light, flaky pastry, and then you have your papaya and your berries, and there's two lattes that are still steaming. You're like,
yeah.
And
I see it in my head right now.
And as soon as I quiet my mind to put myself there, I hear in the background out my window the mariachi music from down the street, the illegal immigrants that just moved in, and I realize I'm nowhere near that place.
Frank, next Friday, me and you. And
yes, you can. That'll be March 7th.
Jesus.
March 7th.
Man. Wow.
Yeah, hey, I don't care. I don't care. March 7th, that just means that we're going to be 2 weeks away from spring. Well, you're already in spring.
No, I'm not. No.
No?
No. Mm-mm.
What is it outside today?
Yesterday was nice. Today's nice. Next, all cold. We got ice last week when I was in D.C. here.
Siri, what's the weather today? A high of 46 today.
I've got today a high of, I'm 62 right now. That's it. That's about it. We're going to pop out. And then tomorrow the high is 69. And then we're back into it's not that bad. We're in the 50s and 60s.
Hey, we're in the 40s, the mid to upper 40s now. And
you're happy, aren't you?
Compared to 7?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was like 7 degrees for 3.5 weeks.
I know.
If Saturday morning, Siri, what's the weather Saturday? Saturday is going to be a high of 53. You know what that means? That Saturday morning is going to be the first time that Rob and I get together to work out since maybe just after Thanksgiving.
I'm seeing the flab, truthfully, I'm just kidding.
Well, the good thing with me?
I was just kidding.
How dare you? What are you talking about? That's the one thing I got going for me. Coming into this is the first time in my life I've maintained inside. I haven't done anything too crazy, but the diet has been so maintained. I'm going into the spring lean already. I feel so fucking good right now. I don't know. I'm almost down 20 pounds.
Jeez.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I hide it well, but I was like, something's not right, and I don't feel optimized. And I have not lost any muscle mass, lost any strength, anything like that. But metabolically, I just feel like the fire is burning now.
You're like quasi carnivore, aren't you?
Oh, I mean, listen, most everything I eat is eggs and steak and fish. It's mostly just animal
Like
protein.
pescatarian?
No. When I say fish, I mean tuna.
Okay.
I'll crack open a can of tuna because there's like 30 grams of protein in that.
Mm-hmm.
In the skipjack stuff too.
Are you eating the fat on your steak, please? Say yes.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
High fat, high protein. But every once in a while I'll throw a salad in there. I like these. I still like the Boulder Canyon avocado oil potato chips every once in a while. It's just sea salt and avocado oil, nothing else. I just stay away from a lot of other stuff. The other thing there too is I know you carnivore people that you can eat whenever you want as long as you're eating these things. I just like eating within restricted windows, and I work in 24 to now 48-hour fast every once in a while.
I'm doing that too, by the way.
Good.
Yeah.
One day a week. It's usually on a Thursday, but not today. No, today's Friday. There's usually on a Thursday that I take the day off from eating. And then every couple of weeks, I work in a 36 to 48-hour fast, and I'm working to one day. I want to be able to do a couple of 72-hour plus fasts a year.
I did one last week when I was at CPAC. 72 hours.
I'm telling you.
It was, by the end of it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's hard in the beginning. In the very beginning, it's hard. But once you get into the swing, 24 hours pass by.
It's in the beginning of attempting it and trying to work it into your health routine. It's challenging because you're working through the preconceived notions of 3 square meals, and to do anything other than that is to be harming yourself.
Yes. When
really we're born into this world with no guarantee that we would have a meal one day, especially so outside of that. There is the other thing that you have to get over, and that is your blood sugar hormonal imbalances that come out big time when you're fasting. With the jitteriness, that's when you have to get into, the salt water, mineralize yourself.
Yep.
But
I don't have that anymore. I don't have that happen to me. I don't have sugar, like the crash or the hypoglycemia issue, because
it regulates pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been eating this way for so long now that fasting to me is like, okay, I'm hungry because I'm hungry. But after that hunger goes away, there isn't any of that like issue. Like I don't have, because I'm used to running only on ketones and the fat from my food. So, but I have to go because I have a crazy ass day, and I could talk to you for another hour.
Yeah.
Because
Well, guess what?
What?
I'm not sitting up from this chair for a little while longer. I have to just do a couple other things, some tests over here, and then I don't know. I'm gonna definitely go outside and enjoy the air at some point. But it was good talking to you.
Good talking to you too. Yeah, I'm gonna do my extra intro, and then we'll be off on our way.